Welcome back, Dynamic Gang. If you're new to the channel, you already know what to do. So listen, we're doing a deck profile on the Ghostricks. We're going to start off with some honorable mentions. I don't run Ghostrick Siren. I know a lot of people that play Ghostrick swear up and down about her. I'm not sold on her. I understand her milling ability and then flipping a card face down, and you get a card from your deck to your hand. You can do all this with all the other cards that I'm going to show you with the deck profile. So I think, like, to me, I'm not really sold on her. Okay. I took the Needle Sealing out. Needle Sealing was a great card back in the day. I know Ghostrick players love to play this. I used to play it. It's just so many monsters nowadays protect themselves, and this doesn't destroy face downs. These destroy basically all the monsters get flipped face up, and by the time they're flipped face up, their monster abilities kick in, and I'm just not sold on the Needle Sealing anymore. Again, Ghostrick Jack Frost, I used to play one of him. I used to play the Capulse. These are just honorable mentions I used to play in my Ghostrick deck. Very good cards, just, I feel like they're out of date. There was a time when I did play this card. If you don't know what this does, it's a flip effect. Tribute one other monster, and if you do, special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck. Destroy that fusion monster during the end phase of this turn. So, this is a really cool card, and I'm going to show you what I used to do. I used to play these two cards. Basically, you would either summon him out or summon him out, one or the other. And basically with this one is he's unaffected by monster effects, so he stays on the field because he's trying to resolve, and then his monster effect is that he can't be sent back because a monster effect doesn't affect him. So it was pretty good. 3,500 beater. That was like back in the day. And this one's just, if I couldn't get to it, and if I already did it, another 4,000. We did used to play Zen Mains. Zen Mains used to be a great card. I mean, it really helped the deck to perform the way it should have been. So it's a very trolly deck, and Zen Mains used to be really good. So I love this card. I still love it. Slacker Magician. She was really cool. Again, I don't play her anymore, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't good back in the day. I used to play these two cards. This used to be a great, especially when I got them on the field at the same time. I was actually able to lock my opponent, and it was a fun gimmick, but it gets really clunky sometimes. So it's really hard to get it because you need to have 4 monsters really to get each one of these out. So, it was kind of like an ordeal, but, they were pretty fun when it lasted. And I was going to play her just because she could attack directly, and then you would go into your Zeus. But, again, I just felt like, everybody's running her, and I just felt like I want to switch it up. So those are my honorable mentions, and we're going to get right into this. So we play one of the better cards in this deck. Ghostrick Lantern. He's really OP. I like him. I really love him a lot. He's my second favorite card. You need to have him. He negates attacks that monster attacks directly, or one of your Ghostrick cards. And if you have your field spell card and all your cards are face down, then your opponent attacks you directly. Boom. We do play 3 Ghostrick Marys. This card is great. If you take any kind of damage, then you could pretty much special summon a monster face down. That's a Ghostrick. This is potentially one of the better cards to search. Again, you're going to be going into your deck a lot. And Ghostrick Spectre is really cool. I really think that you go plus off him because you special summon, you get to get a monster back on the field, and you get to draw. So you kind of go plus off him. This is the reason I don't play Siren. I play 2 fairies. Why? Because she controls the graveyard, and she basically does what she does, but better. She flips a number of your opponent's monsters face down to the number of set cards you have. So it's up to, not, it doesn't have to be exactly the same amount, but it's up to. So I think Ghostrick Fairy is a lot better than Siren, but I know people that swear up and down that Siren is a must. I don't really play her. I don't really see any need for her. This is my favorite Ghostrick card of all. Ghostrick Witch is awesome. She really saved me a lot of times. Just being able to get around to the field and playing Ghostrick. I forgot what that continuous trap is. I'm getting that in the mail. I don't really have that now, so I'm actually not playing it. But you play Ghostrick Scare, you flip her up, and then you can use her ability to basically flip one of your opponent's monsters down and stop tuning, stops linking, it stops a lot of plays, and she's a beast. And I think like a lot of people really sleep on her. She's crazy. The same thing with my girl Neku Masumi. She is great. Level 4s or higher get flipped face down when they're summoned. Doesn't matter if it's normal or special. She's really crazy. We do play one Ghostrick doll. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh, well, you know, why you play Ghostrick doll? She doesn't target, and she flips all the cards face down when she's destroyed at the end of the phase. So it's pretty crazy. We play 3 of the searching cards. I never could be able to say the name right, so let's try Ghostrick Jiangxi. I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it. Anyway, this is your searcher of the deck. Basically, face down, it's 1800 defense. You flip it face up, and for every face up Ghostrick, if you have 4, if you have 3, if you have 2, if you have 1, that's what you're gonna search. So it goes by how many Ghostrick monsters you have. Again, Ghostrick Stein is one of my favorites. I know a lot of Ghostrick players that don't even play this card, and they would probably switch it out for Ghostrick Siren, but guess what? I like Stein. I think that he puts in the work. Siren and basically have the same kind of ability where they search out a spell or trap, only she gets to flip somebody over. So that's the only thing. I do play one Ghostrick Skeleton just in case there are monsters already flipped face down. I could just start banishing their deck face down with how many Ghostricks that I have on the field. This card, to me, he's very, very unique. And now that you can have 6, you remove 6. Oh man, it's like you start hurting somebody's deck, and a lot of times they can't even special summon a banished card because it's face down. How do they know what it is? So you can't even do that. I do run one Ghostrick Mummy. A lot of people are saying either take one of these out to put another one of him in, but I think Mummy is just good the way he is, because I'll show you the other cards that are going to come into play that he's really going to take off. You get a normal summons with his ability. Like all these, you get the flip face down. He's pretty cool. This is probably one of my favorite cards. Ghostrick Ghoul, you're probably like, nobody really runs him. Why? The reason why I run him, and I kept him out so you can see it, is Access Talker. Especially if you use IP Masquerena and you make him where no effects or anything could damage him. So now you need to have a big wall to run him over. Like, he cannot be destroyed by any card effects, but he can be destroyed by battle. And with your card that will protect all your ghouls, or I mean all your Ghostricks, his effect won't kick in where he'll destroy any of your cards and whatnot. So basically, he can adapt everybody's attack, all the Ghostricks attack, all into one, and put it in any of these cards. And then afterwards, you can flip all your monsters face down and just attack with the other one, just in case you're scared of Mirror Force or whatever else they have. That's it for the monsters. Again, I don't really like deck build from the internet, so that's why my deck build is a little bit different than everybody else's. And I didn't have a problem with this deck at all. It does troll. It does the job the way that I want it to do. And we're going to move on to the magics, or the spells, sorry. So we're playing 3 of the Ghostrick Shot. This card is crazy. I'm going to explain to you what this card is and why it's essential to run 3 of him. So, special summon 1 Ghostrick monster from your hand or graveyard and then you can change 1 face-down Ghostrick monster you control to face-up attack position, and you could banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Ghostrick XYZ monster you control, attach 1 Ghostrick card from your graveyard to that monster in material. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick shot once per turn. So there's a lot this card does. And it doesn't say that if this gets thrown to the graveyard that turn, you can't use the effect. You can use all of the effects of that card exactly the way it says it on that card. That's how crazy that is. And it's 3 of. And this is one of those cards that I don't understand why it's a common. This should be like a secret rare or whatever it is. It's crazy. So we do run 2 Ghostrick parades. If you don't know what Ghostrick parade does, basically I can't damage my opponent, but my opponent can attack into me, and then I can search my deck for pretty much any Ghostrick or card there is. So that's pretty cool. You do play Ghostrick Mansion. I was thinking about taking one of these out and putting Ghostrick Museum in. Basically what it does is, you know, when your monsters are flipped face down or your opponent's monsters flipped face down, you can attack directly. Both of you. So, but only the other problem was that the opponent will attack and they get you get half of what you would get of what the monster's attack is. So that's pretty cool. These are essential in my eyes. I played 2 Swords of Concealing Light. I think this card is phenomenal, and I'm going to tell you why. When you have Ghostrick Knight on the field and you do all your shenanigans, again, this doesn't target. This is a great card. It's phenomenal. I played 2 of these. Why? Because you got Ghostrick Lantern, you got Spectre, you got Mummy, you have Stein, you have all these monsters with 0 defense, and you're able to get 2 of them back. Why wouldn't you play that? That is a great recycler. But I know people who don't play it. So, all right, that's it for the spells. We're going to get into the traps now. We play 3 Ghostrick Scares. This card is essential. Basically what it does is you can interrupt plays, you can interrupt tuning, syncing, XYZing. As soon as they summon a monster, you can go off on them and like just stop the plays. If you have Ghostrick Knight, they can't even change the battle positions. So I know a lot of other people play it with Trap Trick. Basically what it does is you're able to throw one into the graveyard, automatically take this one and put it on the field, and you can basically use it. So that turn. Ghostrick Trap is pretty cool, but I don't really run it in this deck. Anyway, we're going to go to Ghostrick Vanish. This is another card that will help protect your monsters and all the rest of your cards from being destroyed for 1 turn. It's essential because a lot of times you are going to be running into a lot of decks that will try to destroy your pop, and that's what I was trying to talk about, Excess Talker and whatnot. This card is crazy. I'm going to explain Ghostrick Retreat. This card you need to run. It's insane. So if you control a Ghostrick field spell or a Ghostrick link monster, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. Your opponent can pay 2,000 LP to make this card's effect set this card instead of sending it to the graveyard. After activation, otherwise, for the rest of this turn, the face-up monster cannot attack and its effects are negated. Also, it is changed to face-down defense position during the end phase. You can only activate 1 Ghostrick once per turn. So this card is crazy. You could basically, it's up to your opponent if he wants to let this go through, or he pays 2,000 life points. Either way, you're making out on this card. It's crazy. That's such a great card. We do play 2 Ghostrick Knights. I used to have 3, but now with all the good cards coming out, I didn't have room, so I downgraded 1, and I downgraded 1 of those. So I could fit the Ghostrick Retreat. This Knight, if you don't know what this does, when your monsters are flip face down, they can't, basically, unless they got a card effect, to either explode this or get their monsters to flip face up. Basically, what this does is it keeps their face down monsters staying down. When this card does get destroyed, at least you get a turn to get your bearings, because they can't attack, so they can't even answer the battle phase. Ghostrick Renovation. This is one of this. I wouldn't play more than one, and I'm going to read to you what this does. Ghostrick. You're going to target one Ghostrick field spell in your field zone, return it to the hand, then you can activate one's field spell from your hand or deck. You could banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Ghostrick XYZ monster you control, special summon that your extra deck, one Ghostrick XYZ monster with a different name. By using that target as a material, this is treated as an XYZ summon. Transfers the materials to the summoned monster. You can only use this effect of Ghostrick Renovations once per turn. How crazy is this card? How crazy is Ghostricks now? It's crazy how far they've gotten. It's about time. The last card I play, I want to explain to you, because, again, I know a lot of other people who play Ghostrick really don't want to play this card. But this card right here, Ghostrick Break, you could if one Ghostrick monster and only one gets destroyed, because it's easy, especially when they're attacking and you only got one monster on the field, and let's say you got enough negates in hand, but you want this to go through, you could special summon two Ghostricks onto the field, and they could be the XYZs. Like, they could be the Dolahan, or they could be Alucard, and you could go plus off them. So why wouldn't you do Ghostrick Break? I think it's good as just one. I wouldn't put more than one. I know a lot of people that cut it out. So that's it for the traps. So now we're going to get into the extra deck. So we run 2 of the Ghostrick Festival. Ghostrick Festival, if you don't know what this does, I will explain this to you. One non-Ghostrick monster. So it's one non-link Ghostrick monster. So you can't go into this with another Ghostrick Festival. So you would have to just get a regular monster. But it's a level 1. You just need one. And you can also use a face-down Ghostrick monster. So it's the same thing with the Gladiator Beasts. You know how the Gladiator Beasts are face down? You can actually use Fusion Contact. And you would flip it face up to show your opponent that this is a Gladiator Beast, and then you can make Contact Fusion. So it's the same kind of deal. So anyway, monsters that control as a material link summon that this card while a Ghostrick card is on the field. Your Ghostrick monsters can attack directly. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you could tribute this card, special summon one Ghostrick monster from your deck to face down defense. You can only use the effect of Ghostrick Festival once per turn. So if they have a lot of monsters on the field, what you could do, essentially, and that's one of the reasons why I play Doll. Doll has the ability that when this card has been flipped face up, at the end phase, all their monsters are going to be flipped face down. She doesn't target. She's just a crazy to go and get. Or you could go get her because she has 1800 and she gets flipped face up. You could at least get something like that. It's just up to you what you want to go for your targets, but that's the reason why I play Doll. It's a pretty good. It helped me out in the past. Link Karibo. If you don't know what this card does, I will read this to you, but this card I think is so crazy in this deck. So one level 1 monster, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you could tribute this card, change the opponent's monster to attack to 0 until the end of this turn. If this card is in your graveyard, quick effect, you could tribute one level 1 monster, special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Link Karibo once per turn. Do you see what I'm saying about how this deck actually recycles its cards? Like, you can recycle this shit over and over and over and over again. And so he's not going to leave unless he's been removed. So it's crazy how, you could do that once per turn, but it's crazy how you could do it just, This is another card that I really think a lot of people sleep on. This is an old school card. I had this when it first came out, and I actually always had this in my Ghostrick deck. This card is amazing, and I'm going to read it to you. Now, I don't see a lot of people really playing Lionheart, but basically, you want to have 3 level 1 monsters. It's not hard to get. And this face-up attack position card cannot be destroyed by battle. When you take battle damage from battles involving this card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the amount of the battle damage you took. If this card battles an opponent's monster during damage calculations in either player's turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from that battle. So basically, you're getting, this is the magic cylinder. This is the magic cylinder of the Ghostricks. This will definitely end games. I've played it to end games. This is incredible. I love this card, and I think that it doesn't get enough play. And in this deck, it's so easy to get level 1s. We played 2 Ghostrick Delahan. Delahan is just, he's like your Gale of the Whirlwind. He cuts your opponent in half. Unlike Gale, he does only stay for that turn, and then it'll go back to normal, but there's so much you could do with Gallahan that it's crazy. We play Ghostrick So Cute Bus. I've never really played with her until you had the renovations and the Ghostrick shot. Both of these cards, man, so easy to play this card now. It's ridiculous. Again, if you had both of these on the field, they act as a Captain Marauder. It's crazy. We play 2 of the Ghostrick Alucard. Now, if you notice, all my cards are all from when they were basically pulled. Yeah, I pulled every one of these cards. Yeah, I know, he's beautiful, right? And this is very old school. So I always treat my cards with a lot of respect. But to get back what I was saying, this card is crazy. I've always liked Alucard. I've seen them splashing into other ones. I've seen them splashing into Abyss, Dwellers Abyss, whatever they're called. It's just a really go-to card. And when him hits the graveyard, you get a card back, basically. And that's another reason why I run the Brick. Because if you have Break and you summon him face down and you summon him face down, then they both go to the graveyard. Guess what? You're getting your effects off again. It's crazy. It's crazy how it works. So definitely think about putting this card in. If you're not, it doesn't really matter. I know everybody has their own way of building stuff. We play 3 of the Ghostrick Angel of Mischief. Basically, she's your boss monster of the deck. It used to be Alucard, but then she came out and she overlays on any of them. And then if you get 10 of these, you win the duel. If you detach one, you can get one from, you can get a Ghostrick card. I think it's a spell or trap from your deck to your hand. We do play 1 Down Magician, because Down Magician, it's easy to go into. And of course, we play 1 Zeus, because if you're doing XYZs and it's easy to attack, why not play the Zeus? Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching the video. I know it's kind of long. I know there was a lot of stuff to go over, but there was also Future Utopia, and there was another Utopia card. When I get it in the mail, I'll explain it again, and we're probably going to side some of this stuff out. I don't know what I'm going to side. Maybe I'll get rid of her, and maybe I'll drop her down to 1. I don't know, but we got to work around when I get the extra deck in there. I do not want to take out my Lionheart. Everybody's like, oh, we'll just take out Lionheart. But Lionheart has won me battles. Like, you don't understand. That's Magical Cylinder on crack. Anyway, thank you again, and I hope you all have a good night.